Guys, welcome back to the Code Up. In today's lesson, we're going to learn about the data types in Python. By the end of this video, you'll understand what integers, floats, strings, and booleans are, and how Python stores different type of information. Let's get started. We're going to start by creating a new project, and we're going to name these data types. Create. In Python, everything you store has a type, so everything you store in a variable row has a type. A data type tells Python what kind of information it's working with. Today we'll look at four important ones. So I'm going to start comment to make some notes. Integers, floats, strings, and boolean. So what are integers? Integers are just whole numbers. If you may have read them in math before, they're just fancy word for numbers without the decimal point. So those are called whole numbers. Let's give some examples. For example, we can have 5 minus 45, 1056, etc. Floats are fancy word for decimals, which are numbers that have a decimal point in them. Decimals have a decimal point. And for examples, we can have enter with a decimal point. And 3.68 minus 57.4, 45.6.868, and etc. Strings are words. Well, actually, whenever you're just talking about strings in Python, you always have to put them within quotation marks. So anything in quotation marks is a string. And so we can go. Just in case to that, I'm going to stop putting quotation marks. Hello. Let's say a random number in quotation marks is also seen as a string. Random symbols in quotation marks are also seen as strings. A mix of all of them are also seen as they're also seen as strings. So let me just write the definition in front of that. Words, example, and booleans are used in deception making, and they only have two values, true or false. And these have to be written in capital letter T and F. Also for floats, what you will normally see as an integer, so let's say 10 is an integer, as long as you have a point and you had a zero, it automatically becomes a float. So we can start by creating variables of all of these to store them in Python. So an example of a variable for them. Let's go name. And in this we're going to put a string. I started writing code now, so that's why it's colored and it doesn't have the hashtag in front of it. So let's say the name we made it 12. We can also try and group integers using a variable called age, and we can say the person called Wells is 16 years, and we can use floats. Let's go in height. should be how you spell height. Um, I like that sounds more like it. Height and let's go 5 points. No one is 5 meters stop. Let's make it 1.8. And lastly, we can go is a human. I can make that true. We call different color because of the it starts with. If I put it true, it is seen as a variable a bit because we created it, so it's usually highlighted in red. But when I give it if true, it has turned a different color to show that it's recognized. Anyway, in variables, if you want to leave spaces, you have to use underscores because you're not allowed to leave a space. It will cause an error, and you're not allowed to put dashes. So underscores are the best go. So we are going to run but hate invalid syntax. Oh, as I said, space are not allowed. So now that I've cleared the space and because we haven't done anything to these variables, we haven't actually print them or anything, nothing's gonna show. So we can start by printing all of them. Print. If I was going to print something for exactly the way it is, like hello, I'll put it within quotation marks. However, when I want to print a variable, we don't put it in quotation marks and it prints what is inside the variable. Name, raw, and separate swap. And then we're going to do that for the same for the rest of them. Just copying and pasting. And each height, yeah, that should be the same. Python is case sensitive, so we have to make it exactly the same way I wrote it. In the same cases, the same amount of underscores and that. And now we should print 12, 16, 1.8. And next, I'm going to show you how to print this, a mix of, that was just an alarm. So we're going to go back to printing and want to print it with a mix. So I'm going to create, and I'm going to go with a comma outside that, and I'm going to go, wait, this part. My name is, I've got to leave a space here, so it's the name because the variable there's no space, so it won't leave a space. This will be next to be sure that if I didn't leave a gap here. So now it should print my name is Bob. And we're going to do the same thing for the rest of them. Comma, well, my age is space my height. It doesn't really matter if it's the wrong way around since it's inside quotations. But we can try and do that. And that it is when I'm going to show you how to print a variable in the middle instead of just at the end. So we're gonna go it is this is meant to go through and we come out but remember to add that and we close the quotation mark. Then we leave under gap again because of there's no gap left in there and it is that should be true dot I am a human. So it will print my name is well, my age is 16, my age is 1.8, and it is true that I am a human. And let me just expand this, yeah. Today you learned about integers, floats, strings, booleans, and how to mix print normal words with variables. In the next video, we'll start using asking the user for input so that instead of us to be assigning the variables, the user enters something and it is assigned to the variable. If you enjoyed this lesson, please subscribe to the Code Up and I'll see you next time. Bye!